As you can see, the eponymous trolley is bearing its load as bravely as ever. Pulling it from the hostel to that spot between Zagreb's main station and a statue of some worthy on horseback, that give with one hand but take with the other medical term, stable but critical, came to mind. A stretch of Velcro was the difference between a still aerodynamic glide along Zagreb's streets and an undignified crashing of the comestibles. Jars and bottles smashing, glass splintering, liquids pouring forth, apples rolling, and all in the heightened glare of bemused locals. But I made it, and since the horrors of the 90s, Europe's powder keg of the Western Balkans has made it too, largely preserving its peace. Stable but critical? Welcome to the Wandering Trolley, Episode 4. I'm Alexander Hamilton. Now that fellow on horseback is Tomislav, crowned Croatia's first king in 925 AD. It took a moment for me to decipher the Roman numerals, CMXXV, because I was thrown by the date not starting with an M as it normally does. They have dug deep to dig this chap out, I thought. One person's time-hallowed tradition is another's clutching at the straws of lapsed circumstance, like an argument between two people where one insists on something that he or she did right or the other did wrong too long ago. Remember when I took the rubbish out 6 weeks ago? Digging up the past. The past never ceases to place itself at the disposal of the disreputable. In 1941, a little over 1,000 years after the original Tomislav's life and reign, an attempt was made to lend the Axis puppet state of Croatia a measure of historical legitimacy with the crowning of Aimon, Duke of Aosta, as Tomislav II. Croatia and Slovenia, the bits of what was to become Yugoslavia that had a Catholic Austro-Hungarian past, have swung decisively into the Western camp, members of the EU, NATO, the Eurozone and the Schengen area, whereas Serbia is still thought of by many as the incorrigibly bad boy of the Balkans. In truth, I was secretly pleased to have missed my train to Subotica in Serbia, because the sense of Serbia as an unrepentant chauvinist fortress persists, not to mention the fact that as a country outside the EU, it won't have recognised my EHIC card had I developed food poisoning after eating the half bag of salad I'd kept at room temperature for a couple of days. I was fine, by the way, and have not yet had to call upon Croatia's healthcare system. None of this, however, should obscure the role played by Croatia and Bosnian Croats in the genocidal madness and ethnic cleansing of the 90s. Perhaps I shouldn't say this too loudly. I'm in an empty compartment in a carriage on a train heading down to Split. I assume there are Croats to the right and the left of me. But anyway, I'll crack on. Milosevic was the preeminent monster cum buffoon in the Yugoslav wars, but for sheer style and sense of the occasion, it is difficult to outperform Slobodan Praljak, a Bosnian Croat who drank poison in the dock at The Hague, where he was arraigned for genocidal crimes, and died shortly afterwards. Not to mention, to those of us not caught up in the extraordinary drama of Croatian or indeed any other serious nationalism, the total absurdity of the occasion. Someone once said that civil wars are the most nasty, the bitterest, the most violent. Perhaps what made the Yugoslav wars so toxic was they were both civil wars between fellow Yugoslavs who all spoke the same Austro-Hungarian, the same Serbo-Croatian language, and at the same time were more akin to foreign wars between different nations, the spectre of the other and the traitorous compatriot came together in a menacing brew. I asked a chap in Berlin where he was from. Bosnia, he said. There was a pause, and then he added, "But I'm Croatian." This vanity of seemingly small differences demands investigation. We have been rolling through the mountains and will eventually come down to the Dalmatian coast to Split tonight, and thence tomorrow to Bosnia, where we, Trolley and I, will see what's what, or at least try to.